Let's talk about what I learned studying wealth for 25 years. One of the major things that I learned all of this time from studying wealth is you gotta have some money. You gotta do what you gotta do to have money. And what I mean by have money, you gotta have some money that you can use, that you can put to work. Money that you don't need for survival. You must have enough money that you don't need for survival, that you can invest that money into things that will bring you more money. That is the key. You must somehow, either through a job or a business, but usually through a job, you must get enough money from a job or several jobs to have money to be above survival. That means you must be able to survive plus have extra money. Then you must take that extra money, save that extra money, invest that extra money, so eventually you can buy your first asset that brings in profit. This is the major strategy. It all starts with one asset, something that pays you money. That could be dividend stocks. That could be your first business that you buy. That could be your first piece of property that you buy, that you end up renting out. You need to purchase your first asset. Capital is the key. That's why you need a high-paying job. That's why you need to live below your means, so you can stack your money up. Once you have a certain lump sum of money, you can use that money as leverage to go get an SBA loan and buy a business that's already profitable, or buy a product that already has, or a house or real estate that already has a tenant in the house or the real estate, which is generating you money every month. I learned a lot of things in my 25 years of studying wealth. I learned this: money is not spiritual at all. Money has nothing to do with spirit at all. Money is just a piece of paper. It's just an exchange of value. It has no morals. It doesn't care about feelings. It doesn't care how good you've been. It doesn't care how evil you've been. It doesn't care that you have morals, that you treat people right. It does not care about any of that. The only thing money cares about is value. The only way somebody is going to be willing to exchange their money with you is if you're providing them with something of value. Outside of that, you can get money by using money. You can use money to invest in things that give you money. Like, for instance, stocks. You can buy stocks, shares in these companies, and they will pay dividends. They will pay you money back from the profits. But outside of that, the way that people amass huge fortunes is through bringing value to other people. That is the biggest factor in it all. But you know what else is a big factor and that ties it all together? Ownership. You must focus on owning assets, systems that generate money without you having to be present. If you cannot buy assets, have other people spend their time building your asset, you're not going to be rich, and you're not going to have time to enjoy money. Because if you have to spend your own time to make money, you are a slave to time and you are a slave to wages. Being a wage slave is just being a slave. Like I said before in other videos, there's only two things that you could be. You can be a slave owner or a slave in this capitalistic system. This capitalistic system was developed from slavery. Money is the new currency or new energy that gets you to perform the slave work, because you can't purchase, you can't do anything without money. So if you have no money, you can't do anything. So guess what? You have to work. You have to work. If you didn't inherit money, you have to work. You have to sell your time. You want to eliminate selling your time. At first, you may have to sell your time. You may have to sell your time to several people. It's what you do with the money that's important. See, here's something that most people don't realize. Jobs are going to pay you money. They're not responsible for what you do with the money. You can take the money from your job, save it up, and invest it in your first business, your first asset. And from that point on, keep building asset after asset, never need a job again. But the fact that you get your money from your job and you go out and try to look rich instead of become rich, the fact that you go and buy that Louis Vuitton purse, or you go and buy that Gucci outfit, or buy those Jordans, or buy the expensive trip when you could have put that money into dividend stocks, let it sit as you accumulated enough capital to purchase your first asset. When you don't play by the rules of capitalism, you don't play the game the way the rich do with the small amount of money that you have, you're not going to be successful. You must play the game even with small money. Even though you say, I don't have millions and millions of dollars to invest in stock. Well, invest those hundreds of dollars. That way you can get you hundreds of dollars coming back. You invest what you have. You start small. Because in the game of money, constantly applying effort compounds over time. This is a game of compounding. Money is a game of compounding. And the more money that you put in over time, the more that it compounds and brings in more and more profits. It's like an ocean of water flowing downstream, being driven by a current of prosperity. These are some of the things I've learned while studying wealth for 25 years. This is Wealthitis, the God of wealth. I'll be back.